You got a gun. You got a big gun. You got a gun. It's not a real one. And all you ever think about is running away. All you ever think about is trying to stay away. Stay away from me.
Dude, my dog sees ghosts, and it is terrifying. He does that shit upstairs too, but anytime he's in the basement, he looks in that corner and he barks. And then upstairs, almost always at night, he will just stare into the middle distance and low growl and bark. And it's fucking scary.
I think your dog's just autistic. Look at him. You don't see no fucking ghost. What's this little
It might be
cocksucker's name?
it might be too early to already start dropping that stuff. Oh no. This is the Not Safe for Work MMA show. As a reminder, please do not complain about the content of the show. The content is in the title of the show. So let's not be ridiculous. My name is Kyle Steele. Joining me, per usual, is Mr. Frederick Kirby. Hello, Fred.
Young man.
You know, I was going to say there's not a lot to talk about today, but I don't know. I feel like there kind of is. I feel like we can make this work.
Depends on how you cut the cake. I mean, there's next to nothing to talk about, and then again, there's a shitload to talk about, depending on
that's kind of where I was at too. I was like, man, there's just nothing to talk about today. I mean, I'm always happy to record with you. I'm always happy to get together. Hell, today we spent 30 minutes just doing stuff off air.
Shit.
I had a blast. But that's kind of where I was. I was like, man, what are we going to talk about?
Let's just say, let's start the fucking conversation here. Let's go on and fucking put it right out there. Last night's card fucking sucked. And the card itself might have been all right. The fights might have been all right. But on paper, the fucking card sucked. And, that means a little something. I get it. You never know how the fights are going to turn out. That's why we all tune in to watch all the fucking fights. But on paper, this fucking card sucked. And I realize that's not really the UFC's problem. They can't help it that fucking, which one of those pricks called COVID now? Fucking.
It was Curtis Blades.
Curtis Blades called it this. They can't help it that he catches fucking COVID at the last minute. Nobody wants to step up and get snuffed out by Derek Lewis on fucking 12 hours notice. But goddamn does it suck for us. Fucking Anthony Smith and fucking Devin Townsend. Who the fuck was he fighting?
It was Devin Clark.
Yeah, Devin Townsend's the gentleman from High on. What group is he in?
Oh, I don't remember.
Fuck me. Anyways.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, it's Devin Townsend. It's an old metal band. Anyways, I was trying to be funny. Devin Green. Whatever the fuck that prick was.
Devin Green. Devin Clark.
Devin Clark. This is what I mean. We should get rid of him. I don't give a fuck if he's DC's training partner. Then he goes in there and gets, what did he get? Fucking triangled by fucking Lionheart?
Well, and I
fuck
think,
off.
I guess, and I've complained about this before, so I'll go ahead and complain about it again. We have another kind of card here where we don't learn anything. And
well,
before the fight happened, before the Anthony Smith fight happened, if I had said Anthony Smith is a gatekeeper who's going to lose against really good opponents 85% of the time and is going to beat up most guys who are trying to get to the top.
Right.
If I'd have said that, would there have been any argument?
Yeah, no, I think that's the general consensus of him going into the fight.
And what did we see yesterday?
Yeah, he did exactly what he should do. I mean,
so it's like
we found out that he's not like done.
Well, yeah, and it's like I don't think anyone thought he was. To
be fair, we have to keep in mind this was supposed to be the co-main event. There was supposed to be a sexier main event. I do understand all that. I want to make sure that I keep putting that out there. But it still don't take away from the fact that boy, that fucking sucked. Just a sort of shitty card. And next week we've already lost Kevin Holland and fucking Jack Hermanson, right? I'm pretty sure that one's already off for next week.
Correct.
Cocksucker. COVID's really fucking leaving her sting on 2020, ain't she? Let's go fucking, well, who the fuck is it? Trump, Biden, one of you pricks. Let's go with the fucking vaccine. I don't give a shit if it starts growing fucking third horns on us. Let's roll.
I think the COVID has not affected. I mean, remember when this shit first came out, when they first brought the UFC back? Here, oh shit, never mind. I'll do that in a second. When we first brought the UFC back, that was the number one talking point, is how bad is COVID going to be? How many cards are going to get canceled? How many fights are going to get canceled? And, we talked about it for a couple weeks straight. All in all, it really hasn't been that bad. We've lost a couple big fights. We've lost, obviously, we lost a main event a day before. That's happened more than once. We've lost some fights we wanted to see that got postponed or whatever it is. We've had this, but all in all, like, this really has not been bad. Logistically, it all got figured out. And it's going to continue to get figured out, and it's going to continue to get better, I assume. And, kudos, I think, to the UFC. Kudos to the UFC for figuring out a way to make this work and for keeping things pushing forward. So they don't get a lot of credit a lot of times, and I feel like they deserve it. They got a lot of shit for bringing the UFC back. And all in all, they haven't had it where a guy tests positive and then fucking everybody on the slate tests positive. It hasn't happened. Everything's been pretty well contained because the UFC has set some really legitimate protocol in place, and they've made it work. So good for them. I think they deserve a lot of credit for making this happen.
Yeah, at least they kept the fucking show going. So, that was important.
And kudos to fighters for stepping up, too. Not being afraid to step up last minute and just make shit happen.
Yeah. No doubt. The fighters definitely helped making this whole thing happen, too. But it does sort of seem weird that... Now, maybe I just don't know these numbers because I'm not paying attention to the younger fuckers or the cocksuckers on the prelims. But it seems like most of the fuckers that catch COVID and dip out the last minute are always main eventers.
Right?
It's never just this random shitbird. It's always oh yeah, Curtis fucking Blades is out. Oh yeah, Kevin Holland's down. It's for fuck's sakes, we could have lost anybody on this card, which, to be fair, it do always be like that. Long before COVID, it felt like we'd have cards like that. Whole card would be good, and then boom, Anderson Silva gets hurt and has to pull out. What the fuck? Of all the people we could have lost on this card, we lost the one person this card couldn't afford to lose.
Right.
The
the one fight that
mattered. What the fuck?
On,
yeah. That's happened several times, so I guess it is what it is, more of the same. But fuck, I hate that.
Let's transition real quick before we kind of start talking about the card. Again, we have a recap show on the network. Keith and Ben Duffy. So go check out the recap. It is safe for work, so you guys can listen to that around your friends and family. That one is brought to you by SureDog. This episode is not brought to you by SureDog. I want to make that clear. This is just a savage show on the LoudMouth MMA Podcast Network. But go check out that recap show. We're going to talk about some other stuff. I want to talk about Yair. Did you hear this?
Yes, I did.
All right, so I'll play it for
the audience.
I'll play it for you guys at home, and then you and I will discuss.
Just lastly from me, is any update on Jair Rodriguez? He seems to be training full now, and you recently said that you still want to fight Sabit. Is there any update on when that fight could still happen?
Yair?
Yeah. He's posting on social media that he's training full now and he's totally recovered from the injury.
Have we not talked publicly about that? Why not? Yeah. Huh? No. I don't think he's going to fight soon.
All right, so I'm going to play the rest of the clip, but let me give you some context. So Dana is looking at somebody on the side, a female.
Yep.
I don't know what she says.
Right.
He turns over to her and he says something. You just heard it, but I'll recap it. He turns over to her and he says, "Have we not announced that yet or talked about that?
Have we not addressed that publicly?"
You addressed that publicly, and she says, "No, I hear that." And then he kind of looks back.
And he's like, "Why?"
Looks back at her and says, "Why not?" And then I don't know what she says. And then he kind of asks for clarification. She says something else. I can't understand her. And he looks back and he says, "I don't think he's going to fight anytime soon." Let me continue to play in the clip.
Okay.
He hurt? No.
He's not hurt.
Does it have to be so mysterious?
Does it have to be mysterious?
We didn't announce it. I don't know why we didn't, but yeah. I don't know what the deal is. It's actually none of my business what's going on there. So when it comes out, it'll come out.
This is now Hunter's business, or
No. It's none of our business, none of the UFC's business. So when they figure it out, they'll let us know.
Okay. So he declined the offer to fight.
Did he?
Yeah.
No. That would be my business. Any other questions? Good night. Thank you.
Yeah, a ton, Dana.
Yeah,
what the fuck you mean any
tons
other
of
questions? What the fuck? You couldn't have been more cryptic conveying, my guy.
So, again, recap the end there just in case the sound isn't loud enough. He says, he kind of goes on. He says, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know why we haven't announced it, but it's none of my business. It's none of the UFC's business. And when the time is right, it'll get announced. And then somebody follows up saying, did he not accept a fight? Dana says, no. He accepted it. That would be my business if he didn't accept a fight. He goes, that's not it. It's none of my business.
So it's none of DW's business. He's ready to fight. He's not hurt. So what do we got here?
All right. So yeah, I love this game. So let's play this game. I think it's one of two things.
Okay.
And I think we could both agree. One of them, I don't know if he would use the terminology "it's none of my business."
Okay.
So that's why I'm leaning toward the second one.
Okay.
And I'll throw a third one in as a wild card. All right.
All right.
So number one is a USADA failure. Okay. I think that's the most obvious thing.
Okay.
I just don't know why Dana White would say that's none of my business.
Well, right, because that would be all his business.
Well, but technically it isn't because USADA is a separate thing.
Yeah, but that would be a weird thing for him to say. If
that's what I'm
okay.
saying.
Fair enough. Yeah,
that's the weird.
I didn't think about that because I didn't think
that feels like the most obvious thing, but it's like I feel like he wouldn't use that language. That is none of my business.
See, I don't think that's not the first thing I thought about. But go ahead. I'll tell you if you don't get it right.
So the other two for me.
Okay.
Number one. They're having an issue with Combate, or they're having an issue with something in his management.
Okay.
That maybe he owes money to someone, maybe he got out of the Combate thing under some false pretenses, whatever it is. There's some type of hang up with a contract or money or whatever it is. I think that was my wild card.
Okay.
The thing I'm leaning towards most is some type of criminal thing is going on.
Right.
So either some type of sexual assault or just some other type of criminal.
Right.
There's some criminal thing that's happening that is stopping things.
Yeah.
Because he also said when he says we haven't announced that yet, he looks over and he looks back and he gets clarification, looks back, he goes, the first fucking thing he says is, I don't think he's fighting anytime soon. And when you hear anytime soon, for me, when I hear when someone's like, yeah, I'm not going to be there anytime soon, that to me is like, yeah, I'm not coming.
See, but maybe I'm being morbid, but I'm thinking just first thing hits my mind from that wording, somebody important to him got murdered.
Oh.
Mother, sister, brother, father.
I just thought that would have come out, though, right?
It's not his business, though, right? That's not their business to, like, sort of say that. And I don't know. Maybe it would have, but, like, I don't know. Maybe died of COVID. Maybe something a little less heinous than murder. But maybe somebody close to him died. And it's just like he's like, yo, I'm fucked right now. My mom died. My dad died. I can't fucking train. I can't think of nothing.
It's just weird that wouldn't. Why would he not say that?
I don't know.
Not Dana, but Jair.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty personal thing. Maybe again, that we're speculating here. So I feel like something like that, or Jair wasn't married or nothing with kids, right? So it couldn't be some sort of weird infidelity with his wife, where it's like a big deal, and he's like about to get divorced, and he's going through some kind of crazy shit like that, right? Like, I guess because my thing, the first thing I thought, too, would be, like, something legal. Like, that's usually what Dana White says when somebody gets themselves in some legal trouble. Is he's like, yo, that's got nothing to do with us. Once the law figures it out, then we'll, see what's what.
To me, that is the most...
probable.
That's the most probable. Is there's something going on with the law. I'm looking at his Twitter to see if he's liked anything or replied to anything. Nothing. I got nothing. I have no idea. That is so fucking cryptic. It's so Dana White.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can think of is that, though. Some sort of, like, major family issue or a legal issue. Those are the only things that aren't his business, right?
Yeah.
Like you said, a USADA test failure, maybe but again, that feels like that might be like a drug addiction, but even that probably kind of feels like that would maybe be his business. Like, something personal within his family or a crime or something. Those are the two things that Dana White's usually like, I'm not. And then you know, also where he would be able to speak so freely, like he might not be around for a while.
Yeah, it was just the way he said it.
Because he didn't say he'll never fight again. He didn't say he's done. He just said we might not see him for a while. Like
I don't know.
Going to need a few months off.
When that terminology of I don't think he's fighting anytime soon, that to me implies.
I guess he didn't say a while. He said anytime soon.
That to me that implies indefinite. Like that. Like I don't know. I don't know why that language is like really sticking out to me, but it's like it's that vaguely sarcastic, like, yeah, that ain't happening anytime soon. You know, which is usually you're implying, yeah, that ain't happening. You know, so I don't know. That's
true.
I don't know. We'll see.
Suck
I'm
too,
really
though.
interested. I'm really interested where this is going to go.
Yeah, I wonder what it is. It's probably, you know, Dana White has a big fucking, he has a knack for making things seem way more sexy than they are.
Sure.
Comes out that Yair just had a case of the fucking herpetitis or something.
Yeah, right. Kid, he couldn't fight until
until
the
they got
wind
that
remission.
cleared up. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. That's really interesting. We'll see where this goes, and we're probably all fucking wrong.
it could be one of those things too, possibly. Maybe like a Dan Hardy situation where he found out where he had some sort of weird, serious medical condition, wolf heart or some sort of weird bad blood thing or something. They're like, yo, he might not never fight again.
Did you see a wolf heart?
That's that what Dan Hardy's got?
What is it?
Wolf heart syndrome, something like that.
Wolf heart syndrome.
Something like that. Beast heart or a bear heart.
Beast heart.
Something's wrong with this fucking heart, and they named it after a golem of some kind. I'm telling you. Pretty sure it's the wolf heart that he's got.
Dan Hardy heart. I'm looking this up. Diagnosed with a heart condition, UFC fighter Dan is living. Okay. Oh, wolf.
I fucked it up, didn't
I know you didn't. I mean, like,
I was fucking close, wasn't I?
You were way more right than I would have ever given you credit for. So Hardy was diagnosed with Wolff Parkinson White syndrome. So Wolf is a name, WOLFF. It's not a golem. Wolves aren't golems anyway.
I just figured he had the wolf heart.
Wolf heart. So it's Wolff Parkinson White, which is the three names, which I assume the scientists have discovered.
Discovered the heart rate.
Yeah. It is a presence of an extra abnormal electrical pathway in the heart that leads to periods of a very fast heartbeat. In most cases, the episodes of fast heartbeats aren't life-threatening, but serious heart problems can occur.
I probably definitely got that. I feel like my heart's fucking beaming through my chest sometimes at night when I go to bed. Just for a minute.
It might just be the fucking monster you got.
Well, I do. I'm saying later on the night. I know the truth. When my heart's pounding as I'm pounding a fucking 48 thing of Monster here.
Yeah, I have really, really slowed down. I mean, I quit drinking caffeine in totality for a while there. Now I've just slowed right down. You know, I'll drink a Diet Pepsi every once in a while.
They do a good job of getting you addicted to this
that's
shit.
about as far as I go. Well, now it's fucking nicotine. Now I cannot stop.
I hate that fucking.
I quit smoking cigarettes and I quit dipping.
So
now I'm doing these fucking nicotine salt things.
I'm telling you, I don't want to get off the fucking topic of fighting here and get on some completely philosophical
I don't
shit.
care.
But, you know, listen, if there is a God, he's got some fucking sense of humor on it.
Sure.
Every fucking thing that is good for you or to you on this planet is bad for you. Like, everything that's fun to do, everything, fucking tobacco, monster, fucking pussy, drugs, eating fatty foods, it all kills you. Everything that fucking sucks, stretching, running in the morning, working out, going to work, being a good guy, it fucking sucks.
I like how being a good guy got on that
Who
list.
wants to be a good guy, right? You do it because you think it's going to get you somewhere in life. Nobody wants to be a good guy. You don't want to tell that fucking cunt in the goddamn line at the grocery store, you're fat and you're gross. You suck. You're a loser at life. Your kid's fucking stupid looking. His ears are big and you're all fucked. You're ugly and you always have ugly kids. You should probably just fucking in your line now.
Did I ever tell you the story about when I worked at CC's? And I do not, even though this is a not safe for work MMA show, I will still come out and say I do not endorse this, at least not publicly. I do not endorse this.
Fucking CC's.
This is just a story I am telling, so don't shoot the messenger. I was working at CC's, and there was a guy, cannot for the life of me remember his name. My buddy Drew would remember his name, but I cannot remember his name. But he quit CC's and he started cussing at the manager at the time. The manager's name was Jeremy. He starts cussing at him. And there was a lady up there with her child. And she goes, can you stop? Like, my kid can hear you, right? Which, first of all, you got a guy quitting, going off on the manager. You fucking idiot. Don't involve yourself.
Right,
he's going to turn on you. Don't involve yourself. But also, valid point. Like, hey, dude, my fucking kid can hear you. You're just like yelling fuck you to this guy. So he turns to her and he goes, fuck you and your half retarded child.
Ooh.
And then walks out. It was the best fucking quit ever. Fuck you and your half retarded child, and then drops the mic and leaves.
Zesty.
Like, that was it. Just walks out. What a perfect moment to walk out on.
You know, some bosses do get the wrong idea. Bosses be thinking they God. You can't quit. I had a motherfucker Casano tell me one time I can't quit. I said, but buddy, watch me. I don't give a fuck who makes these pizzas. I don't give a fuck if this place shuts down and catches on fire. I'm quitting right now. I'm not touching another piece of cheese. You can't. I can't. Says who? I'll kick your fucking ass. I'm leaving.
Right.
You won't get your check. I don't give a fuck. Keep that too, but I'm leaving right now.
Yeah.
Fuck your 2 weeks. You got a 2-second notice. I'm out.
And you'll still fucking pay me.
Yeah, fucking the law.
FYI.
For the record, you cocksucker. Bosses be getting crazy with that mouth sometimes. You can't. Fuck you think you talking to, Jack? You ain't my daddy. Watch me.
So, Yair, we don't know what's going on. We'll figure it out. It'll come out soon, I imagine. Especially now. It seems like this has got to get escalated.
Sucks, too,
now
because
we addressed it.
Again, you know, not to be
He's a fun guy.
Yeah, not to be an asshole, but, like, can't we lose some of the shitbirds?
Right.
I mean, all due respect, as much as I love to watch Rachel Ostovich's fucking big brown butt cheeks jump around that cage.
Oh, my God.
Can't she just go ahead and fuck off and
Bro.
catch the fucking heebie-jeebies or whatever the fuck is ailing fucking Yair? Can it ail her?
That fucking that move where she fucking stretches up
Oh, yeah.
and fucking gets on Gina Mazzani's back.
Holy Samoans.
Listen.
She's got some hips on her. I'm not going to lie to you. She does sort of look like a transsexual, but I don't give a shit. I'd take it in stride.
Listen, when she did that fucking move, I came.
Yeah. Just a little.
That was it.
Just a little.
Pre-cum
She's
came out.
fucking... She ain't nothing nice, man.
What? How? What? She's like, does it? She just stretches over. I love it. It's like, she
holy
is so
Samoans.
like, who was? I don't remember who was commentating last night, but he goes, she's so flexible. I'm like, goddamn right, she's flexible.
She's very flexible.
That's a fucking.
I can only imagine what that's like.
Whew. Just stretches up over.
Quickly on her, I think she's done though, right? I think what is she like 5-5?
You lose to
at this
Gina
point?
Mazzani. I think at that point it's.
I think she's 5-5.
It's all downhill from
with
there.
One win in the UFC at this point.
Listen, your booty fine as hell, but I
No
don't.
shit.
I don't know if that's. I don't know if that's keeping you around.
Listen, her and Paige Van Zant and bare knuckle boxing wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
You know,
I mean, she's got to go somewhere at this point.
dude, her fucking. I don't know how you fight with tits that big too. I mean, it's just like
They almost-
that has to be. It has to impede
She
you.
almost came out. One of them almost popped out too. That she took a little quick shot.
We were so close.
I know.
Instead, we got Lauren Murphy.
Of course we did. There's that God I was talking about.
Right?
He's like, "Oh, you boys want to see this one? Well, check this one out." Blah.
Oh boy.
Actually, to be fair,
We're leaning into the offensive today.
I don't give a fuck. Fair point though. As disgusting as her face is, decent set of tits on Lauren.
Sure.
I mean, that tit popped. I was like, hey. Judging by your face, I thought that was going to be hideous. It wasn't that bad. Shout out to you, Lauren. And you won your fucking fight.
Oh my god.
Didn't she? Yeah, she won her last fight, didn't she?
All right. This is again not the Not Safe for Work MMA show. We are not sponsored by anybody. This is just on the LoudMouth MMA Podcast Network. Please don't complain.
Yeah. No sponsors.
I'll just keep saying that as we're going down.
No, we didn't.
As we're going along, I'll just
No, we
keep
didn't.
reminding people. No one endorses this. I don't endorse it, really.
Yeah, listen,
I'm along for the ride just as much as you.
It's fucking chaos. One of these days, though, we'll get that endorsement.
So, hello, Hadley.
Whoa, look at there.
My daughter, my 18-month-old, just walked down the stairs.
We have a
and
baby
is
here.
Just standing there, looking cute. Not sure what she wants.
Well, listen, it's not safe for work, but it's safe for little babies.
Yeah, she can. She don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
she has no idea.
she looks like she's getting a little nervous with my beard and my voice.
She
but I'm
is.
trying to be quiet.
She knows. Babies can feel energies.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And
I know. That's why
now,
I don't approach them.
It's not the same thing as nighttime Fred. Nighttime Fred is just a different energy. It's a little scarier.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
But I'm telling you, the
I love
beard,
how
the
there's a-
decoys, I don't fuck with the babies.
I love how there's just an inside joke of my wife and I, where we're like,
Nighttime Fred.
we talk about nighttime Fred.
Listen, I'm
I have to pre-warn Justine. I'm like, hey, by the way, today's nighttime Fred. Fred's coming over at like 8:30, and she's like,
nothing nice.
She's like, all right, I'll make sure the kids are away.
Put them down.
So let's make sure they don't catch a glimpse.
Hadley's like, well, fuck, I want to talk to you.
Yeah, she's sitting on the chair now. All right, so let's talk about Mike Tyson. Let's talk about.
Did you watch that? I didn't know if you was going to actually watch it.
I did not watch it live.
Okay.
I wound up catching, a completely legal stream of it after.
Listen, I'm pretty sure that we all don't have to keep doing this thing.
I don't want to publicly endorse.
I streamed it. All right, I'm not here to bullshit with people. Do something about it if you don't want us all streaming this shit. But there ain't no way paying for that $50 to watch fucking Mike Tyson.
Did you the Jake Paul thing? That was an actual athlete. That wasn't.
Yeah, listen.
That wasn't nobody.
Jake Paul is a big, strong kid.
Do we have to give Jake Paul a little bit of credit here moving forward?
No.
Okay.
No.
Let's talk about this. I'm down to talk about this.
He's a big, strong. All hyperbole aside for a moment, he's a big, strong kid who I don't really know who the fuck the other guy was, but it looked like he was.
It was Nate Robinson. He's a basketball player.
Okay, was
NBA.
Jake a lot bigger than him? Is dude a point guard? What position does he play in the NBA?
He wasn't bigger than him.
He wasn't?
I don't think so. Maybe a little bit, but it wasn't Jake Paul is kind of big though.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought Jake looked a mite bigger than him, and he slept him pretty easily. Look, he's a big, strong kid. I think he's got tons of money, so he's getting really, really good boxing training. But if he's serious about boxing, I'd rather just see him go fight actual guy. Go do it then. I don't, okay, cool enough. You knocked out a guy who plays basketball for a living. Go knock out a dude who boxes for a living, even if it's somebody around your, level or whatever. I'm not saying he should get put in there with a goddamn it. Nah, fuck, I don't even know what weight class the prick would fight at. But, no, just if you want to box, then go fight guys who actually box. Because this is sort of, I don't know, Kimbo Slicey, street fighty shit. I'm not going to give you too much credit for knocking out an NBA star, buddy. One dude plays basketball and you're training to box. You're training to become a real boxer all the time.
Yeah.
No wonder you know. I mean, congrats, but of course you knocked him out. Listen, they call it the sweet science. There's a science to it. I don't give a fuck if he did play in the NBA. If he's not used to boxing and he gets in there with a guy who's been fucking training with Freddie Roach for the last 6 months, of course he got his funny ass knocked out. There's a science to this shit.
Right. No, I do think that he's just not ever going to get the credit. Oh, here. Justin, have you even been on this before? Here, you just go walk up to that other mic. I'm going to ask you, I just want to get your quick thoughts. Talk into it, see if we can hear you.
Hello?
Can we hear you? Talk again.
Hello?
Okay, yeah, we can hear you. Give me your impressions of Nighttime Fred.
Nighttime Fred is mysterious.
Looks like it.
Nighttime Fred might be a different man.
We're not sure.
Yeah. I feel like Nighttime Fred wears skinny jeans.
He definitely does. Mm-hmm. That's a good observation.
And maybe like a button-up shirt with only the bottom 4 buttons buttoned.
Yeah.
And a gold chain.
Yeah. Gold chain. This is very accurate, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That's business.
Thank you. That is all.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Hadley was starting to mess with the buttons on my soundboard, so I was like, "All right, we got to get her out.
We got to call in the troops.
We got to call in the troops."
She was a good kid for a while, though.
She is. She's wonderful. She's such a good baby. She's the best baby imaginable. Especially in comparison, Harper was pretty good. She was pretty good. She was a good baby, just not as good as Hadley. Right. Henry was a fucking nightmare. He's just so emotional, and still to this day. We went to the park yesterday, and a little boy pushed him. Bro, you would have thought that Henry just lost his whole family in a house fire. I mean, he was so hurt that this boy pushed him. And Henry, by the way, did not get physically hurt by the push. I don't even think he fell down. It bothered him to his core that this boy pushed him. And I could not get him to calm down. Like the same, I couldn't do it. We had to leave the park. I mean, he could not calm himself down from it. Part of it was he was a little tired. The other part, he's just so emotional, you know, and we're working on it. I'm not judging him. It's just, we got to work on it.
He's good, though.
We got to get him a little less emotional. He just has a hard time recovering when something happens. Or if I'll say something to Harper in passing, I'll say I'm like, oh, you're my favorite. You know, if she goes to do something, like, can you get my drink for me? And she'll give it to me. Like, you're my favorite. And Henry would be like,
what?
No, literally, he'll go, she's your favorite? And he's 4, just turned 4.
Right.
And he'll start to make the cry face. I'm like, no, dude, I was just
fucking joking, bro. It's just something I say.
Yeah.
I don't like none of y'all.
He's so so emotional.
Martial arts, man. Martial arts, sports are good for kids too. But I swear, I think martial arts is such a good base for kids to sort of deal with all that shit, man. It helps you deal with mental, emotional. Obviously, keeps you in shape physically too. But
I'm definitely going to put if I'm able to. Sway them, and if they want to listen to me as they grow up, I would like to get everybody involved in wrestling.
Yeah.
I really do think that would be good for everybody, and I do want them to get involved.
I tell you what, dude,
especially Harper. Harper is built like a fucking rhino. I mean, she is just like.
Well, it's just the structure, and like I said, honestly, dude, I took Taekwondo for 6-7 years when I was younger. And Taekwondo is not necessarily the martial art that I would suggest to anybody trying to try their hand at MMA. But for me growing up, I will say, all bullshit aside, martial arts and Taekwondo did give me a, it's not like I was a royal cunt before, but it gave me a real sense of morals.
Sure.
A sort of a sense of respect for everybody. Like, it was a big deal when you came into that dojo that we're about to teach you how to fuck people up, but that's a very valuable, important thing we're giving you, so you don't just go around beating people up with it. Like, I really kind of sort of learned the value of not being a bully. I was never a bully before martial arts, but it was really emphasized how not to be a bully and sort of, I don't know, do the right thing. Like, I've never been a particularly God or spiritual person, but martial arts really gives you a quiet confidence that you need that really actually helps you in a lot of social circles too. Even fucking with broads and bitches and shit like that. If you're a dude that's kind of shy, and martial arts can help you with that shit, man, because it calms you down and it gives you that quiet confidence that you sort of need to not be worried about somebody sort of imposing on you or taking something from you in any way, shape, or form, man. Yeah. So
sure. Yeah, no, I'll definitely be getting people involved.
I've got 2 girls, man, and I don't want to make them do nothing. I've been suggesting to these little broads for about 2 or 3. I'm like, listen, I know this guy that does real good judo classes, and they're like, yeah, and dance and gymnastics. I'm a fucking cut airway from being like, check this out, your ass belongs to me till you're 18, so guess who's going to judo with Daddy tonight, you little fuckers? I've been asking for a while. I don't want to make you, but fuck it.
I'm making you now.
Yeah, sorry. You get 2 years of judo before you go to university because I fucking say so.
So with Jake Paul, what I was kind of starting to say there, I think that here's what's going to happen with Jake Paul. There's not going to be a shortage of athletes who are going to agree to fight him.
Sure.
And I think he's going to pick apart just about every athlete who gets in there with him. That isn't a boxer.
Sure.
And I think just in that sense, I think Jake Paul deserves a level up of respect than he's been getting. Because I do think that Jake Paul is now proven. First of all, he's proven the Kobe Covington, LeBron James argument, which is there's levels. There are levels to this shit. I don't care how much of an athlete you are. Boxing isn't fighting, but it's fighting.
Sure.
And
it's a version of fighting, no doubt about it. Boxing is somewhat fighting.
Yeah, I know. It's just I just can't stand boxing.
Yeah. But listen, boxing is you got to get in there and throw them things.
I know, and you can still get knocked out and all that. And I understand that.
Right.
It's just there's so many rules.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. But at the end of the day, you're right. We ain't motherfucking playing handball.
Exactly.
we got gloves on. We about to thump each other.
Exactly. And there is you can't just be athletic.
Yeah.
in quotation marks, whatever
Sure,
that means,
sure.
right? There's more to it than that.
Again, I said sweet science.
Now, if you're athletic, this is where it makes a big difference, right? The Greg Hardys of the world. If you're a natural athlete and have been an athlete for a long time at the highest levels, and you then train fighting for a while, you now have an X factor that other people don't have.
Sure, but you just said the most important part.
You
You
have
now
to
train fighting.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, bro, LeBron James, probably one of the greatest athletes of all time, and with no training at all, I'm sure if he grabbed a hold of me, he could probably just throw me on the ground and beat me up.
Correct.
But if LeBron James grabbed the hold of fat-ass Peter Parker last night, he'd probably get thrown on his fucking head and get the dog shit beat out of him by that fat tub of shit. And that's just that skill and training and fighting. It doesn't matter that you're a great athlete. Certainly Fabricio Verdum, go ahead and grab him, LeBron. I'm sure that you can jump way higher, run real fast. You can do everything you want. Grab Fabricio and see if you ain't fucking snoring at about motherfucking a minute and a half tops.
What's the name of Spider-Man?
What do you mean, his real name?
Yeah.
Peter Parker.
Oh, it is, right?
Yeah. What was his name? Porter, whatever the fuck, the fat boy, the heavyweight from last night's fight.
Was it Parker Porter?
Parker Porter.
Is that his
was
name?
Yeah, what did I call him? Peter Parker.
You call him Peter Parker.
He definitely ain't that, Jack.
I got really confused there for a second. I was like, wait a minute, hold on a second.
Those big hog mollies were
Yeah,
beating
Parker
the fuck out of
Porter.
you.
Parker Porter.
Yeah, listen, he grabbed Parker Porter, he get his fucking ass whooped, Jack. And he's a poor excuse from a fucking heavyweight, but that's the fucking point. You're right. Like,
and then he beats Josh Parisian, which isn't like, that's not nothing.
yeah. To be fair, shout out to Parker.
That's not nothing.
But yeah, listen.
Isn't Parker Porter's claim to fame that he fought John Jones at one point?
I don't know.
I think that might be his claim to fame. Here,
Did he? What the fuck?
I think so. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna look it up.
That was a long time ago. Parker Porter I saw last night. He fought John Jones in a long time because John ain't fought above 205 in his whole career. So
Okay, let me go to the beginning. Yeah, he fought John. His third fight was against John Jones in the WCF.
at 205.
This was June 20th, 2008.
I mean, John Jones has never fought a heavyweight, so it had to have been 205. Had to have been.
They were in the middle of a card that was headlined by Kevin Corgian and Ruben Gonzalez.
Okay, so whatever. Maybe there was no rules for this fight. maybe Parker Porter was a heavyweight at that time.
This would have been John Jones's. Let's look. This would have been John Jones's 5th fight.
Interesting. Yeah, I had no idea about that.
Yep, so there you go. This would have been his 5th fight, and he only had one more fight outside the UFC after that, and then goes to the UFC.
Interesting.
So shout out to Peter Parker.
Shout out to Peter Parker. So listen. Yeah, is it Jake Paul?
Jake Paul.
Jake Paul.
He has a brother too.
Yeah, that's why.
That's
That's why. It's like John Paul or Luke Paul or some shit. It's something real close to that.
I think
as well.
John Paul might be the Pope.
Yeah, well, I think it's another J. Paul. What the fuck? Jake or John or Randy or some bullshit like that. Listen, I want to see him fight another.
John Paul is the Pope. I'm on it today, baby.
Fair enough. You fucking on fire. I want to see him fight another boxer. You know what I mean? He fought the other fucking YouTube guy, which he lost that fight, which that was sort of hilarious. I mean, we're actually going to fucking this is the same guy, right? Or is this his brother?
I think it's the same guy. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, the same dude that lost to the.
Did he lose that one?
Yeah, he lost the fucking second fight to the YouTube.
Yeah.
So I mean, bro, just because he came out and slept the NBA, fucking basketball player, that was cute and all, but you need to fight some boxers.
Bro, did you
sleeping boxers?
Did you hear Nate Robbins? Did you hear Snoop's commentary during the knockout?
No, I had it muted.
Oh my gosh!
I was
Hold on.
back and forth.
I'm gonna pause the podcast so I can pull it up. Okay, unpause. All right, here we go. This is Snoop Dogg's commentary during the first knockdown of Nate Robinson, and then the
subsequent
and then the
sleeping.
subsequent finish.
There you go. Feint, step. Oh, there's a feint from Jake. Caught him. Oh, my God. Down. Lord have mercy. Oh, Jesus. Lord. Snoop, talk about dropping it like it's hot, baby. Take my hand. Holy God, up. Lead me on.
Snoop stop singing.
Wow, nothing funny about what's happening with Nate Robinson, but Snoop Dogg is singing the hymns. He's trying to get... Oh, Lord! Mamma Mia, the problem child proving to be a big problem for Nate Robinson.
My goodness.
And, of course...
Call the ambulance. Pick up your people.
We need definite medical attention for Nate Robinson. And again, Snoop, this is why you don't play boxing, brother. Nah. It's the hurt business. And Robinson could be hurt.
He goes, ambulance need to pick up your people.
This is why you don't play boxing. Tell him, Murillo.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Mike Tyson.
Oh, fuck.
Thoughts, feelings, concerns?
Well, where do you want to start with this whole thing?
I'll let you steer this ship.
Okay, well, before we get to the fight or anything, let me just be the first one to say that I thought the whole thing was a bit fucking ridiculous.
It turned into a clown show at the end there.
Yeah.
Once you found out all the rules.
Well, I mean, just the performances, too. I mean, I don't know how many people performed. I was fucking in and out of my fucking kitchen.
The rappers.
I mean, holy shit, there was fucking 5, 6, 7, 8 performances. I mean, Jesus H fucking Christ. All right, let's fucking go, for fuck's sakes. I mean, literally, there was 3 or 4 performances before Snoop comes on, and then Snoop comes on. I got it muted because I'm trying to listen to the UFC. I'm going back and forth. I keep going back to the thing, and Snoop just keeps fucking smoking and rapping. What the fuck is he doing? I like Snoop, but shut the fuck up and sit down. Fucking smoking blunts and rapping and shit. Like, Snoop ain't put out a song in a month of Sundays that was worth a damn. What's he fucking rapping? Gin and juice? Have a seat, right. Snoop. Fuck's sakes.
Have a seat, Snoop.
Jesus Christ. Wiz Khalifa, the whole fucking most of them are out there. I mean, I get it, but goddamn. So, as far as the fight goes, first off, I guess it was ruled a draw. I disagree with that. I think that Mike Tyson won the fight. Surprisingly enough, I thought that Mike looked pretty good for as good as they could, being I think their combined age was 105. So, for 2 fucking literally grandpas in there getting after it wasn't bad. I thought Roy Jones gassed really quickly, which was funny because he said he was going to make Tyson gas, and that didn't happen at all.
Yep.
Roy looked real old after about round 4. Look, man, it was actually not bad.
Yeah.
For how much of a shit show it could have ended up being. Felt like there was still a little bit of a lot of hugging. It wasn't it wasn't them in their fucking prime, but again, to be in their early 50s, it was an all right little exhibition sort of fight. I felt like it could have been a real shit show. It could have got stopped early on a cut or a knockdown or any kind of bullshit. It felt like they actually sort of let them get after it a little bit. They let them fight. They both got pretty tired towards the end. I'm glad I didn't fucking pay for it, but I'm not upset that I spent my time watching it.
Sure.
So,
the rules of the fight being an exhibition, I don't know how much it really affected it.
Because I felt like they were pretty much just fighting.
Yeah, it didn't have as much of an effect as when you read the rules as you thought it was going to, I think. So in that case, it was good. I don't understand why the rules are there. Why can't we just have an actual normal fight?
Right,
we don't really need that. And then, again, I just hate draws. It's like, can we just... Who won?
When Tyson won. Did you watch the fight?
I thought Tyson won as well.
I thought it was a pretty obvious Tyson W for the most part. Roy didn't do a whole terrible lot.
So to me, we already know that boxing is just kind of rich with
corruption. That's a fact.
Do you think this was a draw for a reason?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't want to speculate. One could speculate easily that they made it a draw so they can do the rematch.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
but I don't. But maybe. But that's also them being pretty stupid and short-sighted. This was a lot like McGregor Mayweather. Now, everybody, don't get your fucking panties wet. Obviously, this was nowhere near the sort of big deal or draw that it was. I just mean, this was a one-stop shop. This was cute for what it was right then. We were all pretty intrigued. We hadn't saw Tyson, fight in years. Been a while since Roy Jones fought. it all sort of made a little bit of sense, and we were here for it. I don't give a fuck about the rematch. It doesn't. Yeah. Would I watch it? Of course, I'm a fucking degenerate. But would the rematch have all the hype that this thing had? Would that many people be really interested and concerned? We've seen it now. We've seen it. Tyson can still go a little. Roy, they both can still go a little, but neither one of them are like blowing down doors. I mean, if they did a part 2, it's going to sell, half or less than that or whatever this one did. So if that's their fucking plan, like let's do a draw and try to squeeze another one out, they're really going to be squeezing the fucking towel dry with that. Because I mean, again, it was fun. I wasn't completely upset at it, but I'm over it. Like that was cool, but on to the next one at this point, Yeah. Even if they do that sort of thing again, I tell you what, you know what I'm interested in. You know what I wouldn't mind seeing at this point, Evander Holyfield and Tyson. Okay. I don't want to see fucking Roy Jones and Tyson fight again. We just watched. I'm pretty sure Tyson won that fight. I think anybody with 2 eyes would agree with me. If Tyson wants to keep doing this, Tyson definitely looked like the better, fresher fighter of the two. He looked faster and stronger. I mean, Roy looked, I don't know how the fuck that was called a draw. I think they were just trying to give Roy a participation trophy, to be honest. I mean, that was sort of an egregious decision. Tyson won that fucking fight. He was coming forward the whole time, throwing harder shots. Like, what the fuck did Roy really do? And whereas Tyson and Holyfield are pretty cool now, Holyfield's done Tyson's podcast and all like that, they still have more history and drama than probably any 2 boxers on the planet Earth. And Evander Holyfield's one of those dudes that never smoked a cigarette, never took a drink, fucking Jesus freak. Like, Holyfield, to be fair, Holyfield would probably beat the fuck out of Tyson if they actually did it. Holyfield probably can still actually sort of go a little. But I'd be down for that if they wanted to try to line that up. Last night went good enough that if they did Holyfield versus Tyson, I'd probably kind of go into that with the same sort of intrigue that I went into this one with. But if they try to run back the rematch, they can kiss my ass on that one. I might not even watch it. Like, I might not even stream a rematch between these two.
What do you think? And I haven't watched stuff on this, so I don't know. And you might have watched stuff on it, but why do you speculate that Tyson bit Holyfield's ear? What's your speculation? Why did that happen?
Well, I mean, listen,
because you know cameras there. You're going to get caught.
Tyson wasn't playing with a full deck. I mean, there's
so that's kind of number one.
Yeah. Tyson, like all hyperbole aside, Tyson was dealing with a lot of mental issues back then. He was fucking erratic. He was crazy. Quite frankly, I think most of his adult life he was sort of like that, dealing with having a traumatic, and a lot of motherfuckers be like, I came from the hood. I had a traumatic upbringing. It is known that at 13, 14 years old, Mike Tyson was robbing people with handguns. I mean, Mike Tyson, like the shit that people talk about, what rappers act like they do, Mike Tyson did in Brownsville, fucking New York, in, the fucking early 80s, late 70s, whatever it fucking was. Like, Mike Tyson really had it rough. And then got all that money, got rich. I mean, Mike Tyson had some serious mental issues. So I think that's top of the list. Now, B, Mike did say that Evander kept fucking headbutting. Now, that's never an excuse to bite the cocksucker's ear off. But he did say that Evander was leading with his head. I think that maybe he even might have cut Mike. And, Mike's excuse at least was, though, that last headbutt, he said, fuck it, motherfucker, you headbutt me again, I'm going to throw you a bite. I bit that motherfucker's ear off, Jack. I was watching that fight live.
I was too. With my dad,
me too.
Of all things.
With my old man. I was really young, but I remember watching it live, and I remember when it happened live. I was perplexed. I was like, what happened? Why is Holyfield in agony? Tyson didn't punch him. I just remember, I'm like, until they showed the slow-mo, I'm like, oh, my God, he bit his ear. Well, like, when it first happened, I'll never forget how perplexed I was. I was looking at the screen, and I'm like, because, even at that time, I saw quite a few fights. I'd never seen somebody scream in agony like that. And he was like, he's got those big boxing gloves on, so he can't grab his ear. So it looks like he's holding his head. And I just remember being like, what the fuck happened? I seen Mike get by his ear, but you didn't see. They had to slow it down to show Mike biting his fucking ear off in real time. You didn't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah.
So, there's that. I think he was fucking crazy, and I think that, he just sort of snapped a little bit in that moment.
What else from the card do you want to get to?
The UFC or this fucking Mike Tyson
UFC.
Listen, I'll be honest with you. I was in and out. I was sort of looking at this card. I was fucking doing some other shit. The UFC was a little trash last night. I was in and out. The only other thing, I mean, you'd have to probably remind me, again, the fucking heavyweights. I think that fight was pretty good. They were a bit flabby for my liking. I tuned that on. There was a couple big fat fucking vanilla bowls of Jell-O shaking around. The one Asian gentleman, the 125er who got the knockout.
Yeah, 125 is it's getting interesting, man.
That was pretty cool.
It wasn't even like a big fight, obviously, but it was just a clean knockout from another flyweight. We're starting to see good stuff.
Yeah, man. I shot that little clip and threw it on Twitter. I was like, damn, flyweight's low key becoming exciting as fuck. I mean, we were just talking about this fucking. Figueiredo's got a nice little thing going. He's got good title challengers. You know, Mighty Mouse might be over in fucking China, but he's still alive and still, you know, he's not 100 years old yet. Henry Cejudo, again, he might be retired, but the cute little prick's still alive. The 125 is, you know, there. Look at me. Of all the people to fucking come around the one. But listen, all bullshit aside, this should show you, of all the shit that I've talked about 125 and all the shit that I've given them, for that division to start bringing me around, it just goes to show you, never sleep on a division. It's just that moment in time. We might turn around, mark my words, a year or two from now, female flyweight will probably be really good. Like, whatever division right now that you're thinking, oh, there's no way that division will ever be exciting, give it a year or two. Guarantee you the right few people pop up and you'll be like, son of a bitch. I mean, if you think not too long ago, middleweight was low-key kind of trash. Bantamweight was trash as fuck not too long ago. Now, all of a sudden, those divisions are deep as fuck.
Getting interesting.
Yeah, so it's really cool.
Next UFC card originally was, I believe, Hermanson Till.
It was. No. Oh, yeah. Originally.
Then it became Hermanson Holland.
Yep.
And then now it's Hermanson Vettori. Your co-main is Jamal Hill and Ovince St. Preux.
Jesus fucking Christ. I mean, it's a good fight, but for fuck's sakes to be a co-main.
You have Jean Vellante, Jake Collier. Right, I don't even know what the main card is because it only on the website I'm looking on, it only shows 3 fights on the main card. So I don't even know what even all is on the main card. But I'm looking down the card, and I couldn't tell you what they're going to put on the main card. I have no idea.
I mean, they owe these people fights. It is what it is. It's on, ESPN Plus.
We're also dealing with COVID shit.
It's free fights, so I'm not going to bitch too much. But boy, it's a dicey fucking card.
We got a pay-per-view after that, which currently is being headlined by Davison Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno. Co-main is the best fight by far, and it's Tony Ferguson and Charles Oliveira.
Ooh.
And then you have Cyril Gain versus Junior Dos Santos.
Ooh, okay.
You have Moicano on this card versus Rafael Fiziev.
All right.
Then rounding out the main card is Kevin Holland and Jacare Souza.
Oh.
Prelims, you have Mackenzie Dern.
That's interesting.
Tisha Torres, Angela Hill. Chase Hooper, Peter Barrett. Gavin Tucker.
Okay.
Is back on this one.
Okay.
Carl Robertson's on this card. Cub Swanson's on this card. KGB's on this card. Yeah.
Okay.
This is not a bad card. I don't love Davison Figueiredo or Brandon Moreno as a main event.
I mean, it was supposed to be somebody else again, I think. I forget who it was.
Because they made this fight not that long ago. This fight just got made.
Was it Usman and
it was Usman Gilbert Burns.
Yeah,
and then it was Amanda Nunes, Megan Anderson.
Yeah. So this one's got fucking 2 cancellations to what are you gonna do? Thank God the fucking Davison Figueiredo was getting that money this year.
And then Vettori and Jacare basically swapped.
Right.
Vettori was going to fight Jacare. Now he's fighting Kevin Holland.
Right.
And then Kevin Holland's fighting Jacare. Just the way that the timing worked out.
Right.
Exactly. Let's make this work. So
fair enough.
That's not a bad card at all. I don't love the main event. I almost feel like, even though that's a title fight, Tony Ferguson versus Charles Oliveira is that's the people's main.
It's the bigger
that's the
fight.
people's main.
I mean, listen, Tony Ferguson is the biggest star on that card.
I'm excited for that fight. That's going to be a blast. I have no idea what's going to happen in that fight.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
I think that
I think Oliveira can get a guillotine, but just with Ferguson's style,
I think this is the fight where we're reminded
who Ferguson is.
Well, or better yet, or rather than of Charles Oliveira. How do you pronounce the prick's fucking last name? I've been mispronouncing his last name for years. Oliveira?
Oh boy, I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, Dubrox.
I just say Charles Oliveira.
We'll call Charles Oliveira. Okay.
But I'm probably wrong.
I think this is where we're going to see his weaknesses. And by that, I mean, Dubrox is a very, very talented fighter. But if you go back and look at his losses, it's when he gets pushed. It's when he can't run the race. And when he's not getting his offensive firepower off and he's forced to sort of take a little, he doesn't take it very well. Tony's the worst guy in the world for that. Dubrox will fuck Tony up a little bit. He will hit. He might even win the first round. Maybe the cute cocksucker might win the first 2 rounds. But that third round, in my opinion, from what I think, the late in the second round, or if it makes it to a third round, Tony beats the fuck out of him. Because I think that Tony will be able to handle the heat, quite frankly, and I don't think that Charles Oliveira will be able to when it comes right down to it.
Yeah.
It'll be a good fight, though. It'll be that first round will be fire. And like I said, I think Tony might even lose it. But after that, once he slows down a little bit and Tony's able to start putting the pain to him, I think he'll wear him down and get a late finish.
We'll see.
If he doesn't get finished.
I'm stoked.
Now, I will say this. With that being said, Dubrox is talented enough to finish him in the first round. If Tony gets too cute, he might just get fucking put right out of there. Because Dubrox is I think that's the thing. Offensively, he has a lot of firepower. I mean, he can strike. He can submit you. Like, when that motherfucker comes at you in the first round offensively, he is a tornado. But if you can stand that and then start putting some pain back on him, he doesn't seem to handle the adversity very well.
Yeah.
A lot like Anthony Pettis, not to shit on him, but sort of in that same vein, which that might not be fair. Anthony Pettis sort of takes a beating relatively well, but I feel like Anthony Pettis is also sort of a front runner. If he's the one doing the spin kicks, he's good, but when that shit sort of backs off and you start beating on Anthony a little, you're able to sort of wear him down and win the fight in those later rounds with him.
I like that fight because we've just had a lot of cards now where everything just feels so predetermined. Any of the major fights, it's just like it just feels predetermined.
Like Davison Figueiredo should beat Brandon Moreno,
and even that is kind of predetermined.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Not to say that Moreno can't win, but it's just like this is what should happen.
Right.
I have no fucking idea.
We don't know really what should happen.
I have no idea. I mean, it's just it's hard to tell.
Yeah, and those are the best fights. Those are the funnest fights, man. The ones where you're truly sort of, Dustin Poirier, Conor McGregor. I think we can all maybe lean Conor a little bit, but we all know that Dustin's gotten, worlds better. So going into that fight, it's like, who fucking knows? There's legit no idea how that goes. Those are the most exciting fights, man.
Well, we'll see what unfolds with Yair Rodriguez.
Yeah,
maybe by next week we'll know something. I have no idea.
I hope we get to see him back too. He's actually one of my favorite fighters. I mean, just to watch fight. I mean, they don't come much more exciting than him, man.
Let's do the BJ Penn rematch.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll get him back out there.
All right, guys. We will see you next week.
There it is.